in West Bengal it's a very difficult situation now because on the one hand the Trinamool Congress, which was the offshoot of Congress originally and which came into power with the help of the Congress, but they managed to build up this party just to share power with BJP. They are now running not only the government but destroying the political culture as well as the administration, and the democratic space also is being squeezed. You know, since the advent of the Mamata Banerjee's government, Mamata Banerjee herself announced that since you have been defeated, the left should put a leucoplast on the lips, and they should not talk. No postering, no procession, no party office can function, no trade union can function. So it was all an attack, all-out attack on the democratic forces. Even the people who tried to email a cartoon or just put up a question, they were also arrested. Thousands of our comrades, cadres, supporters and sympathizers either ousted from their houses or they were falsely implicated in the cases. In the midst, all those people who wanted to, who went with Mamata Banerjee in the name of so-called Parivartan or change, now for last 1 year, they thought that the Mamata is a great failure in Bengal and the left is again coming up despite all these attacks being mounted on them. So now they are talking about no Parivartan, then Paravartan. So if not Didi Bhai, then there will be Modi Bhai. So when there is rise of the Modi campaign in the entire country, similarly we have found how in Bengal the same news channels, the same media, the same corporate and the same intellectuals who went for Mamata 3 years or 4 years before against the left, they tried to now salvage the situation, trying to salvage the situation with joining hands with the Modi or RSS forces. The kind of activities the Trinamool Congress government is doing, the utterances of the Mamata Banerjee and her colleagues, and the functioning of the Trinamool Congress itself also giving rise to the communal polarization. So it's a kind of a filmmaking. The same script writer is writing dialogues for the heroes and villains and the heroines. So here also the same writers write the scripting these dialogues for both the BJP and the Trinamool Congress. One is inciting the majoritarianism and the Hindutva forces or the communal forces from the Hindu line, and the Trinamool Congress is trying to build up on the basis of a minority communalism or the fundamentalist forces. And on the other hand, because of the slackening and loosening of the grip of the administration and police being used for the narrow political purposes, so the communal forces and the fundamentalist forces, even the militant forces from among the states, other states and from abroad, they thought that it's a now breeding ground for them and they're fertile ground, so they have come and they're trying to set up. So RSS is also opening their own institutions as well as Sakhas, and Muslim fundamentalists also trying to put up new outfits or trying to develop a base. So that is what is a twin danger now in Bengal. On the one hand, fighting against the Trinamool menace, the state government's oppression and the state terror. On the other hand, fighting against the communal forces. And these communal forces are just using religious motifs, symbols and religious festivals just to polarize people communally. And the state government is directly aiding and abetting these forces because the only way to fight the left is to break the unity of the working class and the peasantry and the Bengal people. Now, after partition in Bengal, the communal forces, the religious forces in the political arena were isolated. But now they have gained ground, and I squarely blame Mamata Banerjee. There is a mock fight going on the one hand with the Modi forces and Mamata forces, but this is mock fight because actually they are not targeting each other. They are targeting the left. They are not quarreling among themselves. They have launched a battle against the Bengal people's unity, and so anti-people forces are now gaining ground, and left is fighting on the one hand the Trinamool Congress, on the other hand the onslaughts of the Hindutva forces, and simultaneously the minority communalism also. And we think that given the tradition, ethos and culture of Bengal, and with the left tradition from the pre-independence days, the communal forces will not succeed. Now the BJP already have lost its steam. And now you will find how the Trinamool elements again joining, those who are joining BJP, now again they have started rejoining the Trinamool Congress. It's another kind of Gharwapsi, and this has been symbolized by Mamata rushing to Modi because this cheat fund scam is there, CBI is going on, ministers are now being arrested and in jail. So now to protect their interest, Now they are joining hands. Now publicly, it was behind the curtain earlier, and Mukul Rai is the symbol. How you can term him as a BJP or Trinamool Congress, either way.